how have I gone from being top of the tree to not being able to let go of my darts? And I honestly think I'd just get destroyed on that tour. I think it would kill me confidence-wise.
You get in the top 2 of the development tour, you get offered a tour card.
Yeah.
Do you take it?
Hello and welcome along to the very latest edition of Tungsten Talk here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. Myself and Matthew are delighted to be in the company of the twice world champion Beau Greaves. Beau, first of all, how are you? How are things?
I'm absolutely great. How are you two?
Yeah, not too bad at all. I mean, your story is absolutely marvellous and one of the great stories of darts over the last few years. We just want to get to know a little bit more about Beau Greaves because you're someone that really burst onto the scene at a young age. Around about 9 or 10, we first kind of saw you on the TV screens, and you started off in a documentary, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Started playing when I was about 10, and then got to win my World Masters final. Ended up losing, I think 4-0 to Robin Byrne at the time. So, yeah, and it just kicked on from there. Do you know what I mean? I had a lot of attention with the cameras and stuff, but I just kept plodding on, and just the rest is history, innit?
What got you into it, though? You say you started playing at 9, 10 years old, but was it in the family, or did you just sort of stumble across darts?
Well, my brother played, obviously before me, my dad, Uncle John, my granddad, and I think I was just next in line to sort of follow on from what they was doing. And my brother, I just one day, I was never a girly girl, never, did anything like that. I was playing out all the time, and I used to just mark for him, mark his games, and then eventually I just started playing, and I suppose one day I got better than him and just soared on.
Did it click straight away, or did it take a little bit of time to realise, actually, I'm really good at this?
I don't know. I think I was always just had that natural throw, a very, very straight arm, and just started playing county youth, and then had that ability just to win and enjoy, but also just have something extra than some of the other girls that were playing at the time. And I had the right people around me, the right family, and I was lucky enough to fall in the positions I had. And I've always loved playing. Do you know what I mean? That's what's kept me going all these years. Yeah.
In terms of competition, do you remember when your first one was, and how long after you first picked up a set of darts you thought, actually, I'm going to give this a real good go?
Yeah, so it's around Yorkshire. Started playing Super League. Obviously, I play county youth, and then I played like competitions, local. But Bradford Darts was the main one. That was my first tournament win. Just local, obviously. But I still remember it now. I think I took out 94 something to win it, and I remember playing, and my dad used to record everything. So I'd be on this little stage thing, and he'd be sat there recording me, and I probably still got them videos somewhere, but it's definitely imprinted in my brain is that first win at Bradford Darts, yeah.
And your natural ability got picked up very, very quickly. At what point did the media attention just begin, where people were coming along, camera crews, starting to film you play darts? Yeah,
I had a massive patch of, I don't know, I can't really remember what I'd won or would played in, but had a few like little clips, documentaries done. BBC was a big one and stuff, and do you know what I mean? Just random stuff, just doing a lot of stuff. And I think I actually got to a point where I said to my mum, like, I don't want to do them anymore. Do you know what I mean? They're driving me insane. But they just come and go, don't they? Do you know what I mean? They pick and choose when they want to know what you're doing. But yeah, I mean, it was good exposure, I suppose.
So you're out there, you're young, you're playing Yorkshire, hotbed of darts, hot county. When did you realise, at what age did you think this could actually be a career for me?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, obviously, I've played darts since I was 10. Obviously, went through school with it, and I never really thought what am I going to do after school. I just thought, where's darts going to take me, or what am I going to do? And at the time, I was hoping that obviously the ladies' game was going to get bigger, and obviously, I suppose Fallon sort of made it that big, that really big out there, and sort of earn good money from it. But obviously, there's a long way to go yet. But it's one of them. I didn't really think about having a career in it. It just happened. It just sort of went that way, and lucky enough that I can still right now continue doing that.
And you did so much so young. You made your World Championship debut at the Indigo at the age of 16. First of all, what's that experience like? And what was the build-up like to qualifying for a World Championship?
Yeah, it's weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, I obviously played with a lot of the top ladies from 12 onwards. I think I won my first ranking tournament when I was 15, 16. And then once you sort of win that first one, you know you can win a lot more now. That's what I started to do and ended up qualifying. I think the rules got changed as well, so I think it was over 18s only, but they changed it for me, I think. And then, yeah, do you know what I mean? Started playing, and I think even when I did play at the Indigo, I didn't think I was going to win it until I went back, obviously, to Lakeside. And then I thought, I've got a real good chance here to sort of win, and like I say, just thankful to get my first world title there.
You've mentioned in interviews in the past that you like to play where you enjoy. And getting to those events, it's a lot of travelling, it's going to all these different countries, sometimes even caravan parks at times to pick up the ranking. But do you prefer stage or do you prefer the sort of tour environment?
I don't know, I think, obviously when I was so young, I was so shy, I didn't talk to many people, I just, got along with it. But as I've got older, I've become a lot more mature and stuff, and made some really good friends on the tour. Like, it's obviously it's not easy travelling to. I've seen some of your vlogs and stuff, but yeah, they are hard work. Do you know what I mean? It's not the most professional tour, obviously, out there, but it means a lot to some people and some of the girls that are on the tour, and I absolutely love them.
Then you build up the momentum after that World Champions. Then something called COVID hit. Obviously, then we had the lockdown and things like that. And opportunities, I suppose, to play were few and far between until the Women's Series was created towards the latter end of 2020. And initially, you played a few, and then you kind of picked and choose, didn't you, those Women's Series events?
Yeah, I remember obviously playing the first one, I think. And that was when I think probably the whole Dartitis stuff started, where I played on a stream. I think my last game of the tournament it was, and something didn't feel right, so didn't play them for a while, and obviously COVID and whatever, I just sort of faded away from the game type thing. Just needed time to get myself back to where I was, and I think it was just one of them. It just happened, and yeah, I suppose COVID was a hard time for everybody, wasn't it?
Was there a period during that time where you thought, is it going to happen for me in darts? Was there a point where you thought maybe actually this sport that I've done so well in at such a young age, maybe it might not be for me?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I've played for years at that point. Obviously, when I was struggling really bad, you sort of sit there and think, how have I gone from being top of the tree to not being able to let go of my darts, and people beating me, and it was deflating. It was a really hard point, because obviously I'd come out of school, devoted my life to darts, trying to do the best I can, and that sort of struck on me. And but I knew what I could do, and I knew that I could get out of it. Do you know what I mean? My brother suffered with it, and I seen him do it, and yeah, I never gave up. So I think that's probably the main thing.
How important was family around that time, particularly as you say your brother who'd been through that? How important during those tricky moments were your family? Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I remember someone saying to me, do you want to go to this comp? And I said no. I said, I don't want to go. I said, what's the point? I said, I can't throw. I wasn't enjoying anything. And I think at some points I was in tears, do you know what I mean? Because obviously I'd absolutely loved doing this, and I couldn't do it to a point where it was so just crippling. It was like obviously just so hard. And but obviously I'm really close to my sister, and she sort of picked me back up, and my mum, my dad. Do you know what I mean? I'm really thankful for everything they've done for me, and I probably wouldn't be here now if it weren't for them sort of keeping me on the right track.
Was there ever like a moment that was sort of like the eureka moment that sort of got you out of that someone maybe watching this who's suffering with the same sort of thing might recognise that in themselves?
Yeah, it's a real strange one. I've had a lot of people ask me for advice and stuff, but I think it just comes down to enjoying what you're doing. When you're forcing yourself to play something, or everything's hard work, nothing's relaxed, and it's just practice. Do you know what I mean? Just finding a way that works for yourself. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe it's a real thing. I think it's just anxiety about stuff. And do you know what I mean? I've obviously had it. I've still really got it. I still deal with it. Obviously, you see people go through it. It's horrible to watch, but it's one of them. It definitely made me a better player in the long run. But it's one of them. Just don't give up on it. Do you know what I mean? Just it's not a real thing. So just keep that in mind.
And we didn't see you give up, and then we see that form turn again. At the beginning of 2022, you played superbly in the Isle of Man Championship, and then the Lakeside happens. You get installed as one of the favourites to win a World Championship. The first time you played on the Lakeside stage. Just first and foremost, what was it like when you walked into the Lakeside and walked into an environment like that as somebody that people thought, well, Beau Greaves could win the tournament?
Yeah, it was weird because obviously when the Lakeside got postponed for that 4 month, I think it was, that was the best thing that ever happened to me, probably was. I had a month off at that point, obviously before, didn't throw a dart, and it got to January or whatever time it was, and I had to make the decision of whether to play or not. And at the time, I just thought, screw it, I'll do it, I'll play no matter what happens. And then obviously ended up winning it. So you never know what's around the corner when you're obviously playing darts. It's such a weird mental journey as well. And just obviously winning Lakeside just really just rocketed me. Drove through stuff, and the women's series came, and I just won all them, and it was great. Do you know what I mean? From such a low point to such a high point, it was brilliant.
Could you imagine the very quick newfound fame that you got when you won that title and you beat Kirsty in that final?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's one of them, when I was playing it, I just thought, I just wanted to get on stage and play well. It's like here yesterday, I just wanted to play well and just enjoy it. And I think all my interviews I ever talk about is enjoying it, because I'm a big believer in, if you're enjoying something you do, you will play well and the results will come. So it's just like, yeah, that was obviously one of the best points in my career so far. I don't think anything will ever top that feeling of celebrating with my family, and yeah, it was just perfect.
And then moving on from that, as you say, you started to dominate the women's. You didn't play at the first Women's World Match because you didn't play the set of women's series. For you, did you feel like it was just not, at that point, something, not that you didn't want to go down, but you were enjoying that side of the game in the WDF system, that it just wasn't something at that particular moment?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever play something I don't want to play in. So, obviously, when they sort of come about and I thought, do I want to play? I probably could have done, but I would have been forcing myself. So I thought, what's the point? I might as well just wait it out. And I remember watching the match play on the telly and thought, God, I do want to be there. I want to be having that sort of glory type thing. And that was when but I knew I wasn't ready at the time. I knew it would be tricky for me to cope with and deal with, even if it was just, silly little things. But I knew in myself I wasn't right. So I waited until I really thought, right, I'm going to have it now, yeah.
And it's been a few times, obviously, with things like the women's match play, where there's been decisions that you've made that's had, obviously, a lot of public limelight about it. Did you ever, particularly with the first women's match play, when a lot of people were saying, we would love to have seen Beau Greaves, they would have loved to have seen Beau Greaves there, did you take any of that on board, or was everything that you made completely your own decision? Yeah,
no, do you know what I mean? I don't listen to anybody other than myself. As much as my family love me and obviously want to help me, but I don't listen to them. If I don't want to do something, I won't do it. And I think that's just the best way. You know how you feel in yourself, and I know I'm not ready. I could be practicing brilliant, and my brother says to me, why aren't you doing this, doing that? It's like, I know when I get there, I'm not going to be enjoying it. So I just never listen to anybody. Do you know what I mean? I don't really care what people think. Do you know what I mean? I do my own thing, and if I get beat, I get beat. If I win, I win.
And then moving forward, you make your debut at the Alexandra Palace at the World Championships. Just describe what that occasion was like for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just to qualify in the way I did was amazing. Do you know what I mean? And to sort of come back, have that game against Fallon, that was sort of really tight of who was going to get there. And then obviously getting there, it was hard. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy to play on that stage. So many people, you hear certain stuff, and yeah, I just remember not feeling as relaxed as I probably have been in other certain games. But that happens, do you know what I mean? You can't always feel the same in every game you play. But, I mean, it was an experience that I learnt from. Mm-hmm. Obviously, losing was fine. He's a great player. And I know if I'm ever going to beat any of the men on the PDC, I have to play really well. So, but yeah, I learnt from it. I didn't take it to heart, just learnt from it and then bounced back.
And it definitely showed, because 2023 in the women's series, at times it felt like the Beau Greaves series, you really, really dominated. You were breaking win records, you were breaking all sorts of records, left, right and centre. Was there a point when you were really dominating that series, you thought if you walk in the tournament, you walk into an arena, you play like you did, that you're going to win? Yeah, absolutely. I went through a phase of just feeling borderline unbeatable. Do you know what I mean? But as quick as you feel that feeling, it's as quick as it goes. Do you know what I mean? The 1 minute you're playing brilliant, 1 minute you're not. And obviously I've had a lot of ups and downs in my darting career and stuff, and I'll probably have a lot more. So, but yeah, that women's series was so good. It was such a different environment to play in. Obviously, it's such a professional setup in it, and it's absolutely great to just sort of relax and do your own thing.
and I do really love it. I look forward to it now when it comes about. So, yeah, can't fault them.
Do you find that you prepare differently when you go to like a women's series event? Because obviously the facilities are a lot better. You've got more boards, more practice facilities. Do you tend to find that you do different routines, or is it still the same sort of, you've got your routines, you've got your setup, you know what you're doing when you get there?
Yeah, I think I'm very chilled out. I mean, I don't think too much into certain things like that, but you have to compare the two. It's a lot easier to play in the PDC than it is the WDF, and that's no secret. So it's different environments, it's different feelings, it's different seriousness. Obviously, I think PDC is a lot more restricted and it's more serious, and that's what they want for obviously dart players to have that career in. WDF does have that side to it, but it's a hard one to compare. It's completely two different sides of the spectrum, isn't it, really?
And then your success on the women's series then gets a lot of people like us in media positions saying, well, we'd love to see Beau Greaves in this event, Beau Greaves in that event, and a lot of mixed gender events. We saw you at the Grand Slam of darts, and you came so close to qualifying for the knockout stages. What was that event like, particularly with the build-up to it, because there was a lot of people putting a lot of expectations on your shoulders?
Yeah, that's the thing, innit? Obviously, it feels like you're waiting ages for the groups to come out. And obviously, when they did, I was practicing at home, and obviously they came out, and I thought, wow, like, it's just so weird when you're in that, when you've not done it for so long, like some of the other, obviously, lads have. It's just so weird. You know, they're used to it, used to the stage. I think I've got a long way to go yet before I do get used to playing up there. It's just everything just looks different to me. I was trying to explain it to people. I think like the boards look different, and it's just so weird. But I don't really care what people think, and I don't really mind what they say. I just let them get on with it. But obviously winning that game against Ricardo was a bonus for myself, but he didn't play that well, and I played a decent game, but it's just a technical bit bad, isn't it?
On the back of that, obviously, I mean, I saw it galore, so I'm sure you saw it as well. All the questions, Beau should go to Q School, Beau should do this. Is Q School ever something you're going to consider? I mean, I want to say personally myself, I think you've managed it absolutely spot on so far with the decisions you've made and sort of how you've mapped out that career. But Q School, what's the thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm a really realistic dart player. I don't think if I ended up getting through Q School and obviously getting a tour card, I honestly think I'd just get destroyed on that tour. I think it would kill me confidence-wise and ability. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to be playing above myself all the time to get them results. And why would I want to put myself in that position when I can play this stuff, like I say, and obviously the Women's Series and then WDF tours and even the Challenge Tour development tours? I've got so many more open doors for me than I have at the PDC. Obviously, the Pro Tours, I just think I wouldn't enjoy it, and it'd just be so much hard work.
We've seen you dabble this year and go on a couple of development tours with good success. Is that going to be more going into the future as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm only 20, so I've got a few more years left of it. I've not committed myself full-time to it now. I think maybe next year I'll probably prioritise them over certain comps. But, yeah, I'm just realistic, and I think it's just lady dart players aren't as consistent as the men, and you have to take that into account. Do you know what I mean? You see it on the women's series on Darts Connect, see the averages and stuff, and to me, I just can't see myself being that good all the time.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm a terrible interviewer, I'm sorry. You get in the top 2 of the development tour, you get offered a tour card.
Yeah.
Do you take it? You can feel free to say no comment.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think I'd have to... That would probably be a time where I do listen to what my dad says or what anybody else says, because you have to weigh up your options, don't you? You have to think what's going to be best for me career-wise. I think if I got to a point where I played a lot more of this stuff and I was consistently, you know, playing really well, I don't think it'd be a shame to give it a try, but I'd probably say no, because I know what I'm like.
Is that part of the reason behind the decision you made in December? Obviously, you had that option that you had to make because you qualified for the PDC World Championships on the back of your Women's Series ranking. Of course, being the world number 1 in the WDF, you then had the decision to either play in the PDC World Championship and the WDF Women's World Championship. What was your overriding factors in playing at the Lakeside in December? Was part of the reason what you were saying earlier, it's something that you enjoyed, and maybe the PDC stage at that present moment in time wasn't for yourself?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I honestly think ladies' darts and men's darts should be separate. I think it's different when you've got a ladies' tournament and you have an open tournament. It's completely different. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, what's the odds that I'd actually win Ali Pali like 1,000,000,000 to 1? So it's literally like going to Lakeside, getting a second world title, and obviously adding to that sort of tournament wins and the, you know, just for my career, or going to Ali Pali and most likely getting beat first round. So I did sort of consider everything, and I just don't think that is for me right now. I think if I get a few more world titles, then maybe I'd think, right, now it's time to sort of maybe dip my toes into it. But right now, at that moment, it wasn't the right choice, and I knew that. So it was just, it was a tough decision, obviously. Who wants to turn down that opportunity to play, the exposure you can get? And you look at Luke, how well he did, and now look at his life. It's absolutely amazing for him. So it's one of them of decisions where when it's right, then I'll probably make that decision.
And just finally, looking to the future, where do you think the future of Beau Greaves is in the short and long term?
I have no idea. I just go with the flow. I think for the most part, I think the women's series, hopefully it'll just get bigger and better. Do you know what I mean? And a lot more ladies will hopefully get interested in it. I think some of the entries aren't, they're lacking a little bit. Do you know what I mean? You would expect a lot more for what the money is for us. Yeah, just sort of doing whatever, innit, I think. Even though I feel like I'm not playing a lot of darts, I do have a busy calendar and stuff. Maybe a few more exhibitions, but I'm not the type to be joking with the crowd and stuff. So that is something I have to learn on and, yeah, build on.
A few more trips to the Super Series, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. I've absolutely loved it. Do you know what I mean? I've obviously watched it for ages, and I thought, would I enjoy that environment of, obviously, with people I may not know, but all the lads have been absolutely great. I can't fault them at all, and I'd love to come back. And, yeah, loved it last night. It's hopefully a good night tonight as well, but, yeah, can't fault it. It's been brilliant.
Well, Beau, it's been great chatting to you. Thank you so much for spending the time and talking so openly and candidly on so many topics. We really do appreciate it. So that is our latest edition of Tungsten Talk with the two-time world champion, Beau Greaves.